Hey, hello everyone. It's Coach Chris from Defined Risk Investing coming at you with another market recap. This one from Friday, August 9th, 2024. What I have on my screen is a 5 minute chart of the NQ, micro NQ, MNQ, September 2024 expiration futures. What a day. As bad a day as it was yesterday, as good a day as it was for me today. I don't know what changed, but I absolutely destroyed things today. I had my best trading day in a month, and it's been a good month, except for yesterday for me. Before I go on, I just want to quick give a little plug here. I'm planning a list of upcoming videos. I don't know if you realize creating videos, even these basic ones, does take a lot of time. And so in order to get them out so that I have content every day, I have to kind of schedule and record ahead of time, because it's not like you just film it and it's done. There's a lot more to it. And so I've got a list here of some upcoming topics that I want to cover. One that I've been getting asked a lot, most of the trades I've been showing on here are longer 5 minute chart trades that can last a half hour or more. But a lot of people want a strategy on how to scalp the 1 minute chart. You know, in and out, make 5 to 10 points, boom, sometimes even less. They want a strategy for that, and I've got a couple of them for that. Want to just discuss the pros and cons of the top prop firms. I am not an affiliate of any prop firm, but I do have some favorites, and I'll tell you why. I'm actually trading on 3 or 4 different companies right now, and I think it's important that all of you trade on more than one firm, just in the unlikely event that something should happen to one, that you have a backup in place. And I'll talk about that more in that video. Then I want to show you a blueprint of a $100,000 a year futures trading business. What it would take for you to start and put together a business that can generate $100,000 a year. I'm going to talk a video about some of the tools you need to be a professional futures trader. You're probably already familiar with most of those, but there may be some on the list that you're not aware of. Now, this is the big one. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but what I want to do is I want to film myself passing in real time an eval account and document all trades. Now, I this won't be live. I'll film it live, but it will take me multiple sessions, so it's not like I'm just going to sit down, trade, and then pass it. That's not what I'm talking about here. Unless it's an Apex account. With Apex, they have a little different rules. You can pass in one day. And maybe I'll film one of those too, because it's something people have been asking me about. But the other firms like Top Step and some of the other companies, you can't pass your eval in one day. Combine, it's called on Top Step, due to consistency rules. So, but that's coming, but it may be a little ways out. Here, why I believe you should have additional income sources than just trading. You know, trading can provide for you a great life. However, there's no guarantees with that. You may go through bad streaks, bad stretches where you may have some downturns. I just feel that you need to diversify your income source, and I can show you some, and that's the last thing here, of some potential income sources that are compatible with a trading lifestyle. And I'm not talking about a huge time commitment with those. If for most people, the additional income source is actually a job, especially if you have a family, in order to provide them with insurance and things like that. I'm lucky enough, my wife is a healthcare professional, and I get my insurance through her, so I don't have, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. But let's dig into the chart. As I said, this is a 5-minute chart of the MNQ. And with this volatility in the market, I've just been trading micros and scaling in and out of positions. And it's really given me a lot more flexibility. And still, with the big moves we've been seeing, still giving me decent income. Like on 2 accounts, 2 Apex accounts, I made $1,000 in not Apex, I'm sorry, Top Step XFAs. I made $1,000 in each just trading micros, in and out, and I've got a system. When the market is trending like this, for me, it's this. If you see a move like these here, as long as we have some distance, I'm going to kill it with the trading system that I use. This, I can tell you right here, I made $1,000. This sideways, believe it or not, is also good. What you can do in the sideways, and I'll just show you how I did it today. What's going on here? This is the tool I'm looking for. Let me enlarge this a little bit. And this, shoot, I screwed up. Hang on. Sorry about this, guys. Come on. Move. No. I must say Top Step X also, I didn't have the lag, as much lag as today as I did yesterday, which also helped. It wasn't as frustrating. It was a lot more smoother trading. But let's just look at an area. This starts at, what is it here? Here's noon. 1 o'clock is right here, $1,300. And I'm talking about Central Daylight Time because that's the time zone. So we had a huge run up, which took me a little bit by surprise. I still made some money, but it did take me by surprise. And then it came back down, and then it started consolidating. So what you can do is take your box feature and go from the highs and the lows, okay? And notice what it's doing here. This box is, let me just measure this from the bottom to the top. That's 70 points, okay? So 1 micro that whole way is $140, which isn't bad. But what you can do with this is you can make money on the way down and on the way back. And then what you want to do is find the center of this, okay, and see what's been happening. So you'll notice, look at what all these candles are doing here. Look at these wicks on the bottom. I mean, look at this. It was insane. And this went on from, what is that, 10 minutes to 1 all the way to market close, okay? Huge. So all you have to do, and it's a different type of style, and it's uncomfortable at first. Remember, even though you see a candle like this on the 5-minute, that doesn't mean, okay, the candle opened here or went down and then went back up or down in one continuous smooth motion. That is not at all how these candles work. If you look at this candle on a 1-minute chart, you'll notice it's up, down, kind of like all this is. It's not a smooth transition. But if you buy here, okay, well, actually, in this case, you bought up here and it came down, okay, sell, comes down, you can buy again, it's just going up and down in that range. And then it's the same at the top. On the top, it wasn't so obvious that it was coming all the way to the top. I can move that down because I actually used the wrong, I should have went right down to here because that's what I did on the top of these candles. So let me just teach you a little bit about some smart money concepts. So let me get a rectangular chart again, and I'm going to draw another box up here. Okay. And the name that a lot of people call this up here is what's called a support zone. And then we go, a supply zone. And then down here, this is called a support zone, meaning that the candle comes down into this, sucks up liquidity, and then moves back up. And you can see how it's respecting that area for support, meaning it does not go through it. It goes into it, the depth. Now, you can see this candle here, for instance, didn't get quite down, but it's the same concept. It's going down there to suck up liquidity so it has the power. Watch here. Okay, finally here on this candle, it goes down, doesn't go all the way to the bottom. These two went actually deeper. Sucks up liquidity. There's orders down here. And it needs that either to sell them or to buy them to give it the strength to rocket it up. And that's exactly what happened. So it comes down, sucks this liquidity, and then comes back up with enough power to get it all the way to the top, okay? So that's a 65 or 60 plus point move. If you bought down here, and either one of these candles down here held, that's 65 points. That's $130 for every contract, okay? Then what do? You sell up here, okay? And look what the next candle does. It comes all the way down, and let me just see how big that one is. It's probably 60 points or so. 40 points, $80 per micro. So what you would do is you sell it up here, okay? I know it's sometimes scary, but you sell it, and in here, remember, it's going to go up and down. If it goes up a little bit, sell another one to dollar cost average. You can do that on Top Step. And this will just keep creeping down and down. When you get down to the range, you don't want to hold all the way here because look what's going to happen on some of these. All of a sudden, you'll get used to that and then they'll rocket it up. So just be careful. Trail your stop or what have you. So then the candles, it was kind of in the upper range of this. And then look here's another candle from top to bottom. $130 per contract. The next one, the same way. I mean, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. It literally was for me today. I don't know if yesterday I didn't have my head screwed on straight, and I don't know, but I mean, today I just absolutely killed it. And then in the steady, this one is too steep to use that strategy on here. You want something like this, kind of stair step down, something gradual. Okay, let me just look at show you this chart here real quick. I had some, okay, I guess I zoomed out too far on it. There was some really nice trades today, I've got to say. 4:45 a.m. Okay, so that's where I want to start right there. That was yesterday I got back into. So, remember, I don't trade early pre-market. The soonest I would ever start trading is around 5:30. Normally, I'm just watching for that first hour and a half. Now, this morning, there was no news, so there was no real event happening other than the fact that there was a lot of overnight volatility again. And you can see it actually triggered into a down trade here, which you can see because of the low liquidity and volatility, it really didn't go very far. It actually, in reality, is 50 points, but for what we're used to during market hours, that's not huge. So now we get here and the market opens right here at 8:30 and we're immediately triggered into a trade. Now, this was the first trade in some time that did this. Now, if you pulled your money here, you were fine. You actually didn't get your official stop till up here. And so this was the first trade that we actually had some drawdown on it. And if you look at this candle right here, it actually would have stopped you out at that candle had you not sold before that. Now, this initial push up was an 80-some point push. So I think I got out on this one at 50 points or something, which is still $100 per contract. Because I don't like when you get these big initial bars on the open, because 9 times out of 10, you'll get a retracement, and sure enough, you did that in this case. So I also did trade that retracement down, but then I stopped my trade. Now, remember the rules of this trade is this bottom of this band here, ribbon band, is where we place our stop loss, and you can see that just pierced through that, which is, let me, assuming you started here, that's a 47 point. That's why what I do recommend, I recommend a 50 point minimum, even if the band is narrower, because you see how narrow the band got at that point, which I don't know why it was so narrow. You can see how here it flares open. I always recommend a 50 point stop, because if what I recommend is a 50 point stop or the edge of the band, whichever is greater. Then what I recommend is at 1-to-1, you start with a loose trailing stop. So you'd have $100 per contract at the 50 point mark, and then as it's going up, set your stop loss trailing. However you want to do that is fine. But you look what happened. It pierced through this bottom. Was a crazy market. Up, down, and then from this low here, it went on a tear all the way up here, which this little red X is the indicator of getting out. Let's just see how big that was. Yeah, 160 points. So, and then it pulled back down again and then came back up. I love this when it's volatile like this, up and down. I mean, it's now you're never going to get the exact high or the exact low, but just look at how nice this was behaving today. So then we go till 11 a.m. and we get indicated on a down. I mean, it was a huge down bar. It started here and came down 90 points with no drawdown. I don't know if you can see that. The ribbon is way up here, and the trade triggered, and it just immediately plunged and then just kind of dribbled itself down a few. Then this was really strange. At 11:20, 11:30, let's call it, it started to drift its way back up. And it got all the way to the top of the ribbon, but nothing triggered. It wasn't this likes to trigger on these bigger candles, where this was just kind of a trickle up, but it was actually quite a move in the market. It was from there 60 points. And then we finally get an entry up here at 12:05, which over the lunch hour, you don't see a lot of volume come into the market. Most of the boys out in New York are having their cocktails and their lunches, especially on a Friday. So it kind of surprised me, but boom, 150 points, almost straight up, zero drawdown again. I mean, I sound like a broken record, I realize, but it's true. This thing is just, I don't know. So that gets us almost, and then this is where we were doing that barcoding. And I mean, I killed it. I absolutely killed it here. I mean, oh man, I don't know. I just was trading well. And then you see multiple, anytime you see a lot of triggers up and down like this, it's usually pre-market or overnight, when there's just not enough volatility and ATR average 2 range in these candles to make it worthwhile. So ended the day on a huge winner. And it was a great ending to the week. You can't believe how relieved I felt after a day like yesterday. I did not want to go through the whole weekend with that on my mind, because that could have really crippled me come Monday morning. One other thing, I laid off the sugar and I only had a couple cups of coffee. I was very relaxed. I have to admit, I was very relaxed. I was not in any rush to get into a trade, even though right at 8:29, I did get into a trade and I caught, where are we? Right here. I caught this perfectly, because normally it's almost like a news event. They run it up initially, and they did that in 10 minutes. And look they only took 5 minutes to bring the thing all the way back down and erase all those gains. So that was beautiful, and it just set the tone for the rest of the day. And I mean, I was really trading well, very relaxed, was not anxious to get in a trade, was not chopping me up in any way, shape, or form. So thanks everyone for watching the video. I also want to thank all the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. And those that have contacted me and left comments, I really do appreciate it. I'm doing this almost like journaling my trades with the hope that maybe it will help some of you. And I've got some topics that I know are going to help you. So I appreciate it. Please hit the like button below if you don't mind, and subscribe if you find this information useful. And also let me know if you have any topics you'd like me to cover. So Coach Chris out on a Friday, August 9th. Have a good weekend, everyone. Stay safe and have a good weekend. Bye-bye. See you next week.